Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I work in tech and I live in one of the most expensive cities in the world. But I've still managed to grow my income, build wealth, and I'm trying to enjoy my life in the process. So today I'll be sharing some habits that have helped me to stay consistent and financially disciplined because I have a very large financial goal. Anyway, this is not financial advice. I'm only just telling you how I live, how I manage my money and spend only 30% of my income. After sharing all of that, I'll also share some general financial tips with you. Now, to the 30% of my income, what do I actually spend on? Number one, my necessities. I pay my rent because I need a roof over my head. Yes, and then I pay my council tax as well. I have my house bills like the electricity, water, heating, etc. I also pay my phone bill, my home Wi-Fi, and then all of that. Those are like the necessities. Every single month, I must spend and pay those bills. The second set of things that I spend money on are my necessities: food and drinks, transport, and logistics. I have to eat, I have to move around. So, yeah, I always have money to spend on those necessities. Then I also spend on other expenses. I don't see those expenses as necessities, but I pay them anyway. Every other thing that I spend on that is maybe outside of this thing that I've mentioned, they are not very common. They don't really happen all the time. But I mean, if it comes up, it happens. But these things I mentioned are the things that I spend money on. I believe that those things are the most important things to me and I must spend on them. Every other thing is a plus. Now, let's get into the habits that have helped me keep my spending really, really low and my savings and investments really, really high. Number one, be financially disciplined. The first step to this is changing your mindset about it. So I'll give you guys a story. Many years ago, about 10 years ago, I was a spendthrift. Like, I was doing so bad financially. My finances were in the gutter. Just think of anything that is not going right or that is not good. That's where my finances were. They were in shambles. I think shambles is the perfect word. Yes. I was in so much debt. And when I think back, like, I made a lot of weird mistakes. I was just spending too much. I was doing things that I had no business doing that I thought that were important to me. Anyway, one day I just sat down and I decided to change my life. I asked myself, do I want to continue like this? The disgrace. Like, sometimes people are not really disgracing you to your face, but you can already feel like maybe when you're trying to speak to somebody, the person is like feeling like you want to ask them for money because I had money, but the money I had was just never enough. And that's what I thought actually, that it was not just enough. And then I would borrow to now, complete the kind of lifestyle that I wanted to live. And then when I was done with that money, I had to borrow to pay somebody back. And it was just an endless cycle of a mess, like a financial mess. So I decided one day that I was not going to continue like this. I had to just sit down and think of my life like, okay, after I clear all my debts, what are my next steps? How do I make sure that I don't come back to this situation again? And my life changed. I had to change my mindset and I had to become disciplined. No matter what your salary is or what your income is, no matter what stage you are in life, every single money coming into your hand can be managed properly. You don't need to go into debt because your money is not enough. I've been there, I've done that, and I'm here to tell you. Talking about discipline, what do you spend your money on? Do you go and buy designer items because you can afford it? Just because you can afford it does not mean you should get it. I don't buy designer items, but I can afford them. I can actually afford to buy a designer item every single month when my salary drops. But do I have one single designer item? No, because why? I have a goal. And if I do that, I will not be able to meet my goal except I go into debt. So only spend on necessities. This is for someone that has been struggling with their finances or doesn't really know how to manage. You know the things that are very necessary. You know the things that are urgent and important to your life and to you. Spend on only those things. Another one that is closely connected to this is eating out. A lot of you and myself at some point in my life used to eat out a lot. Now, I cook every single meal that I eat. I eat out Very, very rarely. I eat out when I travel, of course, because I'm not, at home, because there's always rice at home. And literally, there's always rice at home. Remember, you need to have a goal. You need to have something that you're doing so that that thing would always, bring you back to your senses and tell you that there's rice at home. Go and eat that rice that is at home. I traveled for my birthday in January to Northern Ireland, and since then, I have not eaten out. Every single meal that I have eaten since January this year till now have been meals that I've cooked, I've prepared by myself in my home, and I have eaten. I avoid eating out because every single meal that you eat out would compound. Before you know, you're spending 500 pounds on food. You're spending 500,000 naira on food. That's if you track how much you spend on food. We'll get to tracking your expenses in a bit. So the money you're using to eat out for 3 days can be your budget for the month. Let's say you spend 200 pounds to eat out. You ate Asian food, you ate Nigerian food. If you're in London, you know that Nigerian food is expensive, and you're eating out every single week. It's not possible. You're going to be spending north of 500 pounds every single month for food. Try as much as you can to cook your meals if it's something that is within your power, and if something you can do. Everybody can cook, I promise you. Watch YouTube channels, how to cook so and so food, how to prepare so and so food. Start. There are some services that already give you all the ingredients in different portions. All you need to do is to put the food together. Those services are actually cheaper than buying ready-made food. Please. Another habit that helps me spend really low and to stay disciplined is that I don't overstretch myself for something that I have not budgeted. So if something comes up and I did not budget for it before that time, I would have to recalibrate and look at my finances, look at my accounts, and think, okay, where can this thing fit? Can it fit in this month? Can it fit in next month? Because I can't just invite every single thing that has come up into my budget. I have already budgeted it. I have removed money for my projects. I have removed money for my bills. Then a random thing just comes up. Like, I have to always check. If it's urgent and important, of course it will go. But if it's not urgent and important, sorry, I have to move it to the next month, or when I think it can be done. Or I don't even pick it up at all. So maybe someone asks me, oh, I'm doing this thing and I want you to buy such and such from me. I'm like, okay, I'll buy, but I can't buy it right now. I'll have to buy it at so and so time. Or someone tells you that maybe you need to come on a trip, and on that trip, everyone has to spend north of 5,000 pounds. Like, keep your 5K ready. You know, you don't have 5K to go on that trip, and maybe you like to travel. Go on a smaller trip, or don't go at all, because you can't stretch yourself for a budget that just came up. If you had time to save ahead of time and you have your 5K, that's not a problem. But please, when budgets just come up, or when things come up like within the month, or maybe something that you didn't plan at all comes up, always take a step back and think about it. How does it fit into my budget? How does this fit into my account? Don't just start spending the money because it just came up. Like, you need to do some recalibrations first. Another thing under discipline is that I'm always indoors. Like, I'm almost always indoors. I don't have a fear of what's happening outside because outside is expensive. Like, everybody knows that outside is expensive. Maybe you step out, you already spent like 100 pounds has dropped as you stepped out. So you can save more money by staying inside. Of course, you have to meet up with friends. Of course, you have to hang out. Of course, you have to take yourself out on dates and, like, one or two things. But if you start making it a tradition of always being outside, like every evening you're going out for drinks, every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday, those 3 days, you are going out every single day of those days. There is no day that doesn't catch you outside. Remember, this is for people that are trying to reduce their spending. If you want to reduce your spending, you have to go home. Like I said before, there's rice at home. You have to go home. You don't have to do after work drinks every single day. You don't have to do weekend drinks and weekend outings and Sunday brunch every single Sunday. There's sometimes that when you really do not have the cash to spend, you would take a step back. You can even tell the person that is inviting you, or tell yourself if you have the urge to do it, that you have a goal and you need to meet that goal. So for now, you would have to reduce it. So instead of 4 times a month, you can do twice a month, you can do once a month. Like, you can still have fun and have the time of your life while doing it at those, once or twice, knowing that you have a bigger goal in front of you, but you will reduce your spending and save more money. Now we are moving to the second major habit, which is start tracking your expenses. Start budgeting as well. because you don't even know what you're spending on. Most times people will be like, oh my god, I had so and so amount of money, where did the money run to? Oh, how did this money run out of my account? My sister, my brother, you finished it. You're the one. You spent that money. Nobody stole your money. Sometimes you see people saying, "Oh, I went to the bank to complain, and they showed me that I'm the one that spent the money by myself." Of course, it is you. Nobody stole your money. Your card is with you. Your app is with you. Everything is with you. You're the one who spent it. Start tracking your daily expenses. So I personally use Spendy app to track my expenses, but you can use any app. In fact, just go to the app store and type track just go to the app store and type expense tracker and you will see so many things, or just type budgeting tools or something. You will see so many tools and so many things that you can use to track your expenses. It is very important for you to track your expenses. So now you want to start budgeting, right? How do you know what to budget when you don't even know the history of your life and how much you spend on certain things? Let's say you want to budget for food. How do you budget for food when you don't know how much you spent on food in the last 3 months? I can quickly tell anybody anywhere how much I want to budget for food in the coming months because of the history of my spending on food. Of course, my budget is very, very flexible, but because I know that, okay, let's say in January I spent 200 pounds, in February I spent 250 pounds, I already know that I'm going to spend between 200 and 250 pounds in March. So before you jump into budgeting and say, oh, I want to start budgeting my money, start tracking your expenses first. Have a history of your expenses. That would inform your budgeting, because you don't want to be that person that starts budgeting and then after like 1 month you're like, oh, I'm not even keeping to my budget. 2 months, I'm not keeping to my budget, because you did not use the correct information. It's when you track your expenses that you can see that you're spending 100 pounds, 200 pounds on a random game on the internet. What do you mean you're spending 200 pounds on a game? You say you're buying coins. What coins? Since you need those coins, you are the one that needs the coins. So when you're not tracking your expenses, you'll be wondering like, oh, where did my money go? And then someone points out that, oh, from your transaction history, we can see that you spent so and so and so at different intervals on buying coins at so and so websites. Yeah, but you wouldn't know because you were not tracking your expenses. When you have been tracking it, maybe the first day you spent 10 pounds, the second day you spent 15 pounds, third day 50 pounds, and you're seeing that, I mean, I'm spending so much on this game, or I need to take a break. You don't have to wait till the end of the month to find out that you spent 200 pounds on a silly game. Sorry for calling your game silly, but in this context, when you're trying to save money, that's a silly game. So for my budgeting, I don't use any fancy tool. I just use Google Sheets that almost everybody does. Like I said before, you have to start tracking your expenses before you can create an accurate budget for yourself. I mean, you can go ahead and create a budget for yourself, but it might not be so accurate because you don't know your spending history. Of course, sometimes I'll overstep my budget because I need to do some things sometimes, and that it wasn't planned, it just came up, but it was urgent, it was important, or I just want to spend on myself because I need to enjoy. But then that enjoyment should not now be in quotes every single time, because remember, you have a goal and you want to spend less and less and less. Now, if you've been enjoying my video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and people in your network. The next major habit I want to talk about is automating your savings and investments. You know you. You know that I know that you know you. You will not save that money. Please automate your savings and your investments if you invest. Sometimes you might not want to automate your investments, which is fine, but at least try to automate your savings. Of course, everyone should have an emergency fund, something that they can always, withdraw from when, push comes to shove in their finances. But please try and automate it. Like I said, you know you. And you know that you might not remember to always put your money there. Some people remember, like, it is in my to-do list every single month to put some money in the savings. Remember, I'm saving and investing heavily for a goal. So it is one of the major things that I do. Some people don't have it at the front and center of their mind, so they can't remember. But guess what? I still have my savings automated on one of my apps. So I use the Lloyds Bank app, and I have my savings automated there. I get a 6.25% on my Lloyds Bank savings. I invest a portion of my money too. So I use Keble and RiseVest for my real estate investments. And then I use Trading 212 to invest in stocks. So I invest in ETFs. And yeah, I might not say a lot about this, but I have a very close friend Joy. Wealth from Scratch is her name on Instagram. If you want to know more about investing and just basic like financial knowledge, please go to Wealth from Scratch on Instagram and follow that particular account. So now we've talked about, changing your mindset about money, staying consistent, staying disciplined. We've talked about automating your savings and investments. We've talked about tracking your expenses. We've talked about budgeting. So now let's focus on increasing your income. I have a full video just telling you people how to increase your income. But that is also something that you need to do. When you find out that you have a big goal or you just don't know how to stop spending less, maybe it's time to earn more. So I'm going to attach the video that I talked about the side hustles that you can do. I currently have 2 side hustles that I do alongside my 9 to 5, and it helps to clear some bills. In that video, I talked about learning high income skills. I talked about the specific things that you can do right now with the skills that you currently have. So please go and check that out. With an increased income, you can do more. Because if you have more capital, more inflow, you'll be able to save more, you'll be able to invest more, you'll be able to do much more with your money, you'll be able to help more people, you'll be able to touch more lives with more money. Now, to the last tip of today, always have a financial goal. It keeps you grounded. When you know that you have something you want to do and there's a specific amount that you want to save, it's in your head, it's even written down somewhere, it helps you with your expenses. Always have a goal, no matter what it is. You can just be saving for saving's sake, but you must have a goal. Let's say your goal is to save 50k pounds, or your goal is to save 50 million naira. Let that be your goal. Every time you want to make a decision, especially when this decision is going to take a lot of money from you, ask yourself how that decision is going to affect your financial goal. But yeah, this year and last year has really tested me because I've been able to stretch myself. I've spent really, 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 really low and invested and saved really, 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 really high because of all these tips that I've shared with you guys. Anyway, thank you for watching my video till the end. I'm so grateful. Thank you so, so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and people in your network. Which of these tips are you already doing? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, guys, see you in the next one. Bye.